All right, folks, welcome to another fast ride at CCN. We are now moving forward at light speed into a new paradigm. This ain't your mama's TV station, it's your daddy's. And folks, I always say that at the beginning because this is not lamestream news media. This is the truth with both barrels, so everybody can get the memo and change their mind and change their heart. Welcome to the consciousness shift. Anyways, I got Sister Crystalle back by popular demand because she's doing some really creative work on my planet, our planet, to bring up the love vibration, because it's imperative. If we fail to bring up the love vibration and everybody stays in this low 3D drag conflict, you can't go back home again. So we're changing the energies on this planet. This is what this is all about. That's what love is all about, because they've done a good job with the mind hack on the idiot box to keep people in this crazy state of conflict. And what that is it's called energy vampirism, folks. If you're watching the idiot box, what it does is it actually taps into your theta beta waves and puts you in a state of conflict. And that's the objective of your programmers. And that's the lamestream media. It's all programming. So they're selling you a lot of bull. They're not bringing no truth to your house. They're just bringing the conflict. So you'll stay in this low vibration. So we're going to bring up the vibration today. So I brought Sister Crystalle, who's doing some incredible lifting, some incredible work. So we're going to take a little ride in a couple minutes on the Pony Express with Crystal's 18-minute beautiful video. What's it called, Crystalle?
Passion.
This one's called Passion. Anyways, because we got to get our hearts right, folks. They've got all the households across the planet in conflict, people who are in relationships. They have been mind hacked. Because instead of working in continuity and in flow of things and working together, it's like one-upsmanship. People are, mind hacking each other, and they haven't found their hearts. So we're gonna cover some conversation and informations on how we can all change it. And I know, Crystalle, you had asked me some questions that I probably think we can bring forward before we go into this 18-minute video.
Questions about yourself?
No. Remember the questions you asked me 3 days ago? I said maybe we ought to integrate those questions on relationships.
Questions about what passion is. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Okay, very good.
Passion. What is passion? Everybody thinks that it's just fiery sex. It has nothing to do with it. Actually, passion is a word that is so powerful and so comprehensive, because passion really comes from the heart. And passion is the most intense vibration of the heart. I want to call it could be passion for religion. It could be passion for your career, what you do. It could be passion in a romantic sense. And of course, I cover the romantic sense in this video, but also the general meaning of passion. For me, what I'm trying to convey is look beyond the surface. Look beyond the porno flicks. Look beyond the superficial relationships that people have, and serial relationships, one after another, with no meaning whatsoever. Really, nobody's special. It's all just kind of disjointed. People's heart goes one way, and maybe your body goes another, their mind goes another. They're not in one place. When the heart chakra is open, the only thing you can see is pure love. You are pure love. You relate to it, and you feel it, and you know that you are that. You are love. You are pure love. That's passion. At that point, I believe that you're really capable of loving another human being. But not before then, because you're too incoherent, you're too disjointed. So I would say passion includes, and it doesn't exclude the body at all. It doesn't exclude sex, because you have a human body. I mean, some people say, oh yeah, I'm going to be really spiritual. I'm going to love passionately, but my body, I just put it in the closet, so forget about it. You're not going to do that. You can't. Because the body is part of who you are. You were created with your mind, your soul, your heart, your physical body. And to express yourself physically and sexually, to a person you love deeply is sublime. It's perfection. So I would say, sure, bring in all your kinky stuff. bring in your Kama Sutra and all that stuff. Bring it all in, but put it in the right place. Put it where it belongs. And that is deep love, which implies automatic deep loyalty. When you really, really love someone, you don't have room for anybody else. There isn't any, because it's so comprehensive. And that love is all encompassing, all enveloping. That's what I'm trying to convey in the movie. And the movie is about a woman who's mystical and very passionate in her heart. She wants to love. And she comes into contact by chance with a being. She's not sure what that being is. The being, she calls her unknown lover because she can't explain to herself all the different things that this lover is capable of doing. This lover appears to her as spirits, like animal spirits, or as a human being sometimes, or as beautiful natural things like, clouds and mountains and ocean and, animals like this seagull or a wolf. The wolf is very important in this movie. And it's an awesome experience. It doesn't end. This is not the end of Passion, the movie. There's a sequel. There's another one coming. And it's a real spiritual experience that I have had personally. And I started to write about 2.5 years ago in the summer of 2012. And I started to write things and record them. And I wasn't making videos at that time or anything. I was just recording. And then I started making the videos, and I had some help, and I was able to make this movie. First, the soundtrack, which I am a spoken word performing artist and recording artist, and I appeared in November in San Diego performing with the soundtrack of Passion, and it's all love poetry. It's deep, deep love. It's so comprehensive that I think people can feel it. Perhaps they can't relate to it intellectually because they may not have these experiences. But just by listening to it and just allowing yourself to just bliss out, allow yourself to just experience it, I think you'll begin to understand what I'm trying to say. I don't think that what I see as passion is something that can be expressed in just a few words. And intellectually, it's hard to understand it because it has a lot of metaphysical elements in it. There's a lot of metaphysics in it. And but you can feel it. And as long as you can feel it and get the blissful aspects of it, you'll get the understanding. Eventually, I believe that you will understand what I'm trying to say. It's definitely a unique movie because I don't know of anybody who records prose poetry to tell a story, and the prose poetry is based on real facts, and then creates imagery that tries to convey the multiple dimensions that are involved in the true meaning of passion. More than one dimension. It's not just three-dimensional like you and me talking now. It has to do with higher levels, higher dimensions. You have to experience the transcendent at the basis of all creation in order to really understand what happens. But basically, when the heart chakra opens, there's this explosion of energy, and all you can do is just cry from joy. I had a master, a guru, his name was Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, who passed away in 2008. And he personally made me a teacher. And he also taught many other people. And he was one of the greatest teachers of all times, masters. And he would always say that, we're like kind of like monkeys because we're so stuck in a reality that's three-dimensional and we can't see further than our noses. So when we're talking about energy shifts for the masses, for the public, for everyone, and raising consciousness and multiple dimensions, then I really think that we're doing a service for the world. And I really admire you for just taking on so much responsibility and bringing on so many different people who are trying to do just that. I don't try to solve problems anymore on the level of the intellect because I run into all the blocks and all the programming that people have. They have all this programming about different things in different areas. Oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm limited here, limited there, blah, 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 whatever. And they don't even know that they're being controlled, as you try to point out in all of your work. But I just I write poetry, I record it, I perform it, I talk to people, I do photography, and I'm going to put out some photo albums because people get inspired, they get excited when they see my work. They just feel a kind of a rush of energy. And that's exactly what I want to do, because it's that very way of reaching people, bypassing their programming. It doesn't matter what religion they are, or what their mother told them to do or not to do, or any of that stuff. It just doesn't matter. What matters is that they feel it, they feel good, and the Kundalini starts to move. I've had clients who tell me this, that they really feel like they're meditating when they're excuse me, that they're meditating when they're listening to my videos and movies. And they also tell me that they sleep at night very deeply, and they feel uplifted, and they feel like their chakras are, the energy is moving through their chakras. And that to me is very significant. So it's a technique. What I'm giving people is a technique, an enjoyable, very blissful technique. And in everything that I do, I think that I tend to give off the energy that is necessary to do that. And I think it's a gift, and I'm very grateful for it. And I'm especially grateful to you for having me on, and Biggie and everybody there, because it's a very great gift. And I don't know how to thank you guys.
That was very nice, Crystal. That gave a lot of succinctness, direction for the heart, because that's where we've got to live. Because like I say, the vibration has been so conflicted, and if we don't get in this right vibration, we can't move forward, because we're going to be stuck in that low 3D drag. And I like that you talked about the chakras. I'm well aware of the chakras, the energies, and how the body works. Being an ex-Navy doc and understanding how energy works, being in the energy field, it's all about energy. It's all about vibration. And it's I had a nice call today with Sister Laura. She gets it. But you have a lot of people that have been mind hacked in their false belief construct, which is really shutting down their energies. I mean, they won't teach about the yoni, and I talk about that. I'd love to get Sister Adina on the show. I did post her, and she's very, very busy. So hopefully sometime in the future, because see, it's all a part of the circuit. If you're not completing your circuit, you're blocked, you're jammed up. That's why people get disease and get, all these medical maladies, or a lot of it because of the mind hack, not just what they eat, but because they're internalizing negative energy and they're not completing the circuit. And if you don't bring the circuit to a grounding point at some time, something has to give. We called it bucking power when I worked in the cable systems, when I was tying in the light. If you have two forces of energy coming to meet, but they're going against each other, that's called bucking power. You need to get the two forces of energy going with the flow and working in continuity. It's these are electrical terms too, and that's how the body works.
Coherence. You're creating coherence.
Right.
You're creating synchrony and coherence and smoothness instead of conflict and chaos and disjointedness. I call it disjointed. People are disjointed. It's almost like they're one piece is way over here, the other piece is over there. You don't know who you're talking to anymore.
Yep.
Because they don't know who they are. So how
Yep.
can you talk to any one of them? You know, I mean, I know people like that practically, I'm not necessarily bipolar either. They don't have to be bipolar. They're just all over the place. It's like, excuse me, your mind doesn't really go with your heart, and your body definitely doesn't go with either one of them. You know?
Yep.
So it's hard to relate to people for me, because I can't relate to that kind of
Because it takes a little, it takes focus for people to align their energies. You have to focus upon it. You actually have to make a concerted effort to bring your energies in alignment. Otherwise, if you're misaligned, then you're not getting your circuit working in its proper context. So this is really, it is, like I say, I have to always come back to the electromagnetic flow, just like this planet. This is the type of stuff that they don't talk about. They don't teach this in church. They don't teach it in school. They've got everybody, like you say, disjointed, dysfunctional, and they've been mind hacked, and they have short attention spans, and they're all over the place because they have no continuity in their circuit. But I mean, take a look at because of the genetically modified foods and the water. If you're drinking bad water, guess what? Every neuron in your body is in a state of dysfunction. So that's why I get people like Brother Troy on here, how to mineralize the body with distilled water and rebalance the circuit, the energies, just like Celtic salt. I talk about that. I got Dr. Tent hopefully coming on, and he's the only other doctor on the planet that talks about see, with Celtic salt, it actually releases 92 plus trace elements that the body must have to survive. This is why people are having all these heart problems, literally having heart problems, not just on the physical though, but also in the heart, because the vibration in the cellular structure of the body has been compromised and it's not in harmony. So this is why what you bring about the love vibration to how we can bring it up, it's imperative, because otherwise you're in a state of conflict and you can't go home. You can't balance out your circuit, and you're just like a live wire that can't ground. And you got to find your grounding point. And this is how harmony in the spirit, what you do is an integral piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, it's just, I admire what you do, because you're trying to get through all of that, all of those blocks in people in all these different ways. I don't know how you find the energy or the time to do it. And then on top of that, you have this amazing sense of humor. So it's very entertaining.
Thank goodness they didn't hear our conversation the first 5 minutes, right? And poor Crystal saying, I hope this is a big tape. See, folks, you get to be real. If you see, that's part of being real. See, that's going with the flow. That's your energy. Take your mask off, folks. Throw that mask out. Because if you're waiting for somebody to give you permission to be yourself, then guess what? You're hiding behind a mask. I don't know how many people I've seen at the end of their life, at the end of their journey, saying, I wish I could have been to thy own self be true. I wish I could have taken the mask off, because they were looking for adulation or strokes from other people. They gave everybody else's opinion of them stock. I don't give a shit what people think. Anyways, see, and when you live in that space, that's called being yourself. To thy own self be true. So yeah, I know it's a fast ride. I know sometimes stuff comes out of my mouth. I don't have many filters in my head.
You have no filters, Peter.
I took the filter out. But you know what? That's called being real. See, if everybody on the planet could be real, and this is not about hurting people's feelings with bringing forth your heart, or this is truly being oneself, and that's the whole point. Because all my life, everybody tried fitting me in their damn boxes, and I didn't fit, and I would tell them to go fuck themselves. Because you're trying to control my flow. I allow everybody who comes on this show to be them. They're all special in their own right. They have their own energies. This is how, and this is what makes this planet beautiful. This is what makes the heart fly. I mean, I get to share a lot of love with my sisters across the planet. I do musical memos across the planet. I'm always poking musical memos out there because I'm trying to bring the vibration up. I want to tune up the planet. This is where we live. The world can be a beautiful place. This can be heaven on earth instead of hell. But if you're living in conflict, if you're not realigning your heart, your chakras, your energies, then guess what? It's a miserable existence. And why bother even be hanging around the planet if you're not going to make a difference in other people's lives with bringing this love vibration up?
Hanging around the planet.
What's that?
Hanging around the planet like a bat.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You go figure, blind as a bat. That's why we open up that third eye. That's why we talk about the medical stuff to fix the body, mineralization, and all these beautiful adjuncts, these alternatives. You know, they're matter of fact, at Privatis.Me, I've been sharing this stuff with the planet on the medical alternatives for free since I started, because nobody should have to die from the cancer lie. Everybody has the right to have their body vibrating at its highest possible love intonation, so that they can really go out and just make other hearts fly. This is what I get to do. I get to make other hearts. You know how many women I make happy a day, Crystal? And I'm not talking about the sex.
Well, I know the feeling. I get phone calls 24 hours a day, all kinds of text messages, phone calls. I'm glad I have a Skype line.
Yeah, I mean, I love my, well, it's all good. I love my feminine sisters. I throw my love out into the mix because I want them to understand what the heart's supposed to be. You know, it doesn't cost anything to bring somebody's love vibration up. It's a beautiful thing. It's incredible. I got a lot of women smiling around the planet, and that's not sex, damn it. But I'll share the love. I will. I always poke in their little PMs, and I send some music. And there's a lot of women that say, "Thank you so much. It was just what I needed." See, so I'm in tune with my planet. I'm in tune with the heart, and this is why we do these type of shows, because this is an integral piece. You can't leave this part out.
Well, there's not enough of me to go around.
I could be anywhere on the planet. There's a lot of me to go around. I'm not limited by time and space. I'm in the here and now. I could be anywhere on the planet. It's called bilocating. Most people don't have.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about personal attention.
Oh, right. Yeah.
To my followers and fans, there's not enough of me to go around to talk to each and every fan, but I try my best to post in such a way that they can all feel what I'm conveying, and I try to, reply as much as I can. I can't possibly do any telephone calling because I'm busy creating. I have a lot of things that are going through, and I have to be very, very deep inside of myself, peaceful, to bring out what I'm creating, the productions that I'm putting out. So it's hard for me in that sense, but fortunately, I think that getting my productions out, my movies and my photos and everything, it goes a long way. It goes a long way. And that's what I'm hoping, because before I used to do holistic work on an individual basis. So I would take somebody's astrology chart and run it, and then I'd go through all this other stuff for healing their particular issues, and there's no end to it. I can't reach enough people. It's just too small. It's so small. I'm surprised that I did it for as long as I did. But now, it doesn't mean I won't do somebody's astrology chart or anything like that. It's just now I just feel like I want to put out my media as much as possible. I have my own TV channels, and I will be putting on live shows soon. So, as much as I can, I want to be worldwide, because that's the only way to really have any effect. How else are you going to do it? I mean, fortunately, we have technology and media, and that's helping both you and me and all the light workers that are a part of your circle, and generally, and certainly in the CCN. And thank God for CCN. So I just want to say, what is the meaning of the word passion, for the title Passion in my movie? I want to say, if I had to condense it, I want to say Passion is not even love. It's not even devotion. It's worship. Worship. That's
it's a feeling. You see, we're supposed to feel. That's the whole point of the exercise. You know, when I talk about certain subjects, people say, "Oh boy, Peter's really passionate," because I stand behind my heart. I stand behind the energies of because I'm not operating in a false, skewed belief system. When I see people getting hurt, when I see this stuff going on, you know, going on the planet, I have a passion to open up my brothers and sisters' eyes to bring them back to the other side, because they're all suffering lots of pain, and it's unnecessary pain, because if you can go to peace and find this love vibration, it changes everything.
yes, it's love is the most healing thing you can give anyone, I believe, because it's the glue of the universe. It's what holds everything together. It permeates everything. Love is consciousness itself. So what is greater than that? That's absolute. There's nothing greater, nothing more powerful. So you can't win wars with war. You can only win wars with love. You can't win against diseases or anything else unless you have love to begin with. Because if you try to combat diseases with poisonous toxins and chemicals that are destructive, that's not love. You're battling diseases, and the diseases will prevail or create more. So only something that comes from love, which would produce a pure product that really works, that's going to work. Then you conquer disease. You see. So that's the key. That's the key. But I think we're all kind of been programmed to think that love is a luxury in our lives. It's something that we don't really need. It's not necessary. It's something that's I don't know, like cotton candy or something. It's just not essential. Everything else is essential. Work and all the mental programs we have, and all of the physical things that we have to prop ourselves up and keep ourselves going in life, material things, and they're all false. So many of them are false and deficient. So we're operating on a deficiency, so serious deficiency of love. Serious, so serious that the planet has been in danger, and still is actually, from lack of love. Because love is being itself, it's consciousness itself. It is life energy. Love is life energy itself. So once that gets drilled into people's heads, then maybe we'll see a change. But you're doing a good job.
Well, it's ironic. You know, we're going to go to the video here in a second, but we're supposed to be good as gold. We are the substance on this planet. They've actually redirected our substance, our energies, and that's why I call it energy vampirism. But go figure. You go by golden Goddess Crystalle, and we're all as good as gold. We just forgot to put the value back in ourselves. See, that's where the heart comes in.
Yeah, why did I call it gold? Golden, because it's precious. Because love is precious, because gold is bright and uplifting. Gold is a symbol of the sun, the center of the solar system. And in the same way, love is the center of life itself. So golden goddess, and plus the fact that it kind of matches me, my looks, which kind of goes over okay.
Yeah, hey, that's all. That's all. Well, yeah, if it fits, you know, wear it. But you know, it's we're moving this forward. Anyways, I'll tell you what, folks, we're gonna segue into this beautiful 18-minute video that Sister Crystalle has created. She's got skills way past my bedtime. So, anyways, let's get into love vibration for about 18 minutes, folks. You're gonna enjoy a nice ride. Brother Biggie's gonna go ahead and host it, and we'll be back in about 18 minutes while you can get your love vibration up.
Pour your passion into me. Invade and capture all of me until, my love, I cannot see whether this love is you or me. Pour your passion into me. Flood your love inside of me. Capture every part of me until I drown in ecstasy. You came to me so unexpectedly. You conquered me so suddenly. Without a word, you walked inside. So there was nowhere left where I could hide. I felt your love. I felt your heart surrendering to me without a doubt. You knew that I would never hesitate to take the road towards both our fates. But what man could I want? What spirit above? For no man compares with your passion and love. You knew you could take, invade, and devour. You knew I would kneel before you till my last breathing hour. Oh, the roads we must take, the prices we pay, just to be together, for there is no other. But despite the blocks, despite the pain, love will find a way. We shall find our way to be together in eternity, together as one in unity. Whenever we speak, whenever we love, we shall not even know if it's you or me. Pour your passion into me. Invade and capture all of me until, my love, we cannot see whether this love is you or me. Pour your passion into me. Flood your love inside of me. Capture every part of me until I drown in ecstasy. Until I drown in ecstasy. You're lonely. You're lonely now. You're surrounded by those who follow you, grateful to receive even the smallest crumbs that may fall from your table. Yeah, you feel alone. Who will understand the winding pathways of your thoughts, the direction of your soul, and the purpose of your life. Who will allow you the freedom to fly, yet remain by your side, patiently awaiting your loving caress. Although I am only an abstraction to you now, somehow you anxiously sense that I exist. A time will come when you will hold me, confident that I will always be there, gently cradling your life in my hands, confident that a universe of devotion created just for you is finally in your arms. I can feel you. I can feel the warmth of your throat. I can dive into your mind. I can even see your dreams. I can feel the beating of your heart. You yearn for me. Even though you're so far away, even though you haven't even met me yet, I can feel you. Slowly, very slowly, I feel swept away by a force greater than 1,000 waves strong. You truly are a tidal wave. You flood my every cell, every breath of my life. I find myself surrounded by your waters, and I feel your demand for my surrender to your passion, your desire, your love. You pull me towards the center of your being, towards your decisive body and your throbbing heart. I find myself unable to resist or stay afloat, unable to remember who I am, impervious to my surroundings, and regrettably forgetting all those who are so expecting of me. Like a tidal wave, you wash over me until I finally drown in your waters, immersed in you, deep within your ocean. I drown in infinite bliss. Do you travel in your dreams? Do you fly while you're asleep? Are you the one embracing me, awakening me to your caress at night? Are you the one who strokes me till your heart's content, until you fully satisfy your masculine delight? I can feel you softly breathing on my lips. I feel your throat and hear you whispering to me, comforting me. I've wondered if and when you'll land one day from traveling in your dreams, mercifully appearing so I might finally touch your face. In my desire to know you, I even stepped into your world, just oh so close to you, and startled, I spoke out in my surprise, awakening you to my success in actually visibly appearing in your waking world. You heard me, and you looked at me with piercing eyes, and realized that I had broken through your waking state. Still, I remained only faintly visible to you like an angel shimmering in the distance. But we are almost there, my love, where time and space will know no bounds and never pose a threat, where worldwide distance fades into empty vacuum space, where you can touch me anytime in waking hours in any way you wish, without the need for dreams of any kind. A time must come for us when our dream travels fade and our complete and perfect to be with you. I will embrace the travels in your dreams of me in waking state. Tell me, do you travel in your dreams? Do you fly while you're asleep? Are you the one embracing me, awakening me to your caress at night? Are you the one who strokes me till your heart's content, until you fully satisfy your masculine delight? Return again and fly into my world, dream traveler. Return again and land inside of me. Return again and touch my soul. Return, invading me completely. That way, dream traveler, I know I can be one with you, because I'm always just a fragile dream away from you. I can hear your jealous heart. You wonder who is touching me, seducing me, who speaks.
All right, folks, welcome back. And I hope that everybody got their love vibration up watching the beautiful work of passion that Sister Crystalle has created for the planet to help bring us up our love vibration. Anyways, Sister Crystalle, I guess you need to realign yourself so that we can see your beautiful face and carry on with this conversation.
Can you see?
We can see you now, and you just need to drop it down a little bit so I can see below your chin line.
Is that better?
Nope. Why did you play with it in the first place?
Are you there?
Yeah, we're here.
How about that?
That's better.
No? How about that? Hello, I can't hear you.
Anyways, he stepped out. But yeah, let's just carry on.
Can you see
Anyways,
me?
Crystalle, it took you what, about 8 weeks to create that beautiful, or no, maybe 4 weeks, wasn't it? The last time we watched one. Then
It took me several years.
Wow.
Because first I had to write it and then record it.
Yeah, you need to drop your camera so I can see your face.
Okay. Hang on a second. Is
Okay.
that better? Is that
No,
better?
yeah, now just see your a little more up, a little more. There we go. Now you're good. Yeah, just center a little bit. Can you center? That's better. Now, okay, perfect. There you go. Don't move.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
That's what I used to say when I was in medicine. Don't move.
It took me 2.5 years overall. It's not something that I just sat down and wrote. It would come to me in spells. And so then I would have one experience and then I'd write it, record it, and then another experience. So it was like a step-by-step process. First, it became a soundtrack. Then I performed it in public. I used the soundtrack, and I also, as a spoken word recording artist and performing artist, I spoke it out, interacted with the audience, and so on. And then after that is when I made the movie. And the movie includes the imagery of what corresponds to the soundtrack, the storyline, and the different experiences that I've had. Those experiences are ongoing. They're not over yet. That's why there's a sequel. This is just kind of like the tip of the iceberg. I think it's going to be a long story. It's kind of like the story of part of the story of my life. And I just happen to be lucky to have those experiences. I think because who else was going to bring out that kind of understanding or experience of romantic love? Who else would do that? I mean, I don't see that kind of stuff out there. I just see a lot of movies that are either focusing primarily on sexual relationships or focusing on tragedies or focusing on serial relationships or comedies, or they have no concept of a true, deep, metaphysical, romantic love. It's both metaphysical and romantic, and of the experiences, because the people who are involved don't have the coherence or the wherewithal inside of them, or they don't have the metaphysical experiences. I talk about astral travel in this movie. I talk about experiencing another dimension. Well, I should say that you and I are in different cities, so we are in a different time and space. Okay, but in the experiences I'm talking about in the movie, in this saga, I have had experiences in which I see someone who is located thousands of miles away, as if they were right in front of me, and I can actually touch them, which means that you have crossed the barriers of time and space, and you are now in the same dimensions. You have broken through barriers. These types of experiences come only through either the person is very highly evolved to start with, or they have been involved in yogic practices for a very long time, and I'm not talking about just this lifetime. So it's a very special, unique thing. So in addition to the sound that I want to, give the effects, the sound that I want to put out, that I want to record, that I want people to hear, I want them to see the visual aspects of the experience. It's very difficult to explain something that has to do with multiple dimensions and experiences in multiple dimensions with visual effects. I suppose Hollywood has all of their visual effects, but what I try to do is overlap realities so that you can see 2 or 3 things going on at once in the visuals. And I do have some ways of doing that. And that together with the sound, I think will give people closer to the experience of being in several dimensions at once, breaking boundaries and understanding what passion is all about.
And see, this is what I call the creative side of the spiritual element of us. Yeah, this is what they don't want us going into, because they've stifled and stagnated. I get creative in my own realms. I'm in all these different portals, but I'm always in a creative capacity to bring concepts forward so that they can get it in digestible chunks. And this is where my brain knows how to compartmentalize informations that allow people to actually get the concepts being brought forward. Because for most people, they've lost their deductive reasoning skills, their creative capacities to, and this is a heavy lift. I love what you do, because, and that's why I'm totally impressed, because that's not the creative side of me to be able to do that, but I'm creative in my own right, in my own capacities, musically, because I get everything through vibration and pitch. And it's you're like a musician, except you're doing a different energy genre of bringing vibration and pitch up with your voice. You have this incredible voice.
Thank you.
And that's how I found you. I found your voice. I said, holy shit, this girl knocked me out the box. I says, I got to go capture that voice. Where did it come from? See, I'm auditory, very, very auditory. I get everything through the pitch and the tone. And so what you're doing is you're actually bringing the vibration of the planet up with your tone, with your voice, because you go into a different realm when you go into your producing of this, because it's your talking voice is totally on the other side of your presentment voice. When you present to your beautiful videos, you're using a different voice. And that's all about vibration and pitch to bring the heart vibration up. That's incredible. I said, yeah, what did I say when I first met you? I said, you need to take me a loop of about 20 minutes so I can get my vibration up, because that's because I got it. And so there's nobody else on the planet like you, Crystal. You're special.
Thank you. Thank you. That's a very great compliment. I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, my speaking voice is definitely not my recording voice, my performing voice. When I'm recording, I am speaking to my unknown lover. I am speaking to that perfect being. I am speaking to the entity I worship, if you want to call it that. I am giving my heart to that being. And of course, it's always the big question, who is that person or who is that being? And I can't answer that. It's interesting because I can only answer that it's spirit, absolute being. You could call it God if you want to call it God. Sometimes I think it's Lord Shiva being the warrior deity in the Hindu religion. He's so amazing. Lord Shiva is a warrior god who's a protector, and he's incredibly strong and masculine. He has this tremendous power, and he's humble, very humble and simple, and yet so incredibly handsome. And he's very masculine and magnetic. It's just a beautiful being. And at the same time, that being is also, the unknown lover is also the wolf spirit, and the wolf, and people who exemplify the wolf, who relate to and identify, because that's part of their being. So it's the wolf, it's also the seagull that's free and flies and can go from one dimension to another without any difficulty. It's just total freedom. And it's also the clouds and the mountains. The unknown lover is a person, it's an actual man also. Okay, so all of these things. So when I say starring Goddess Crystalle and the unknown lover, and everybody goes, who's the unknown lover? Let's find out. I'm going to say, some things must be, yes, they're deeply embedded in my heart. I would say that. They're extremely personal and private. But on the other hand, I can say the unknown lover is this super being who can do anything. And I guess that's the closest analogy is Lord Shiva. Although absolute being is not any one thing, it's everything. It's consciousness itself, it's being, it's everything. It's the universe, it's everything, it's existence itself, it's love itself. So that's my unknown lover. I'll talk more about that later, because it's been a very significant experience for me. And I think it coincided with the surge of energy that happened, I think, in 2012. You spoke about that yourself. I literally felt like someone had set me on fire, like the energy in my spine was just like vibrating, coming up, and I was just like, my heart just exploded with love. And part of that was also self-love, because I had always been trained not to love myself, to love others first before myself. And that's another topic. But it was an energy surge, and it hasn't stopped. I think in the first few months of it, I was going crazy because I felt so much energy. I didn't know what to do. It was hard for me to sleep. I felt like there was literally fire going on in my spine. But it's a product of that, and I think that all of this experience is just making me a tool, a vehicle to convey and to do what I'm supposed to do on this planet, and to convey what love, I think romantic love really is. What that means is far greater than anybody could ever define or make a movie out of. This stuff I see is just beautiful. I don't care if they're award-winning movies. They're just so small. So small. Love is defined in such a small way. It's sad.
Yeah, well, they've packaged garbage up to the masses, and they give it clout because they're not operating in this realm, in this spirit, this vibration. So that's why everybody, the awake ones, I call them the spiritually awake.
Yes.
This will resonate with them, and then they share it with the others that it resonates. So you're in an exponential paradigm shift to bring up the planet's love vibration. So you're here for a reason on this planet. You're just getting warmed up. So you got some heavy work in front of you.
And it's not something I intended. I didn't set out to do this. When I first started writing, I thought, well, I'm just going to write, and maybe I'm going to put it up in, I don't know, iTunes or something and sell it. People will like it, or give it to my clients, my holistic clients, or something like that. And it didn't take that turn. Then I started posting and started making videos because I love movies and making movies, love productions. The whole idea is very exciting to me. I love producing. And so then I started to post pictures and videos, and people wanted more photos. And then I started evolving into becoming more of what I am now. And I didn't realize that they wanted maybe what I'm feeling inside, my energy. They want that energy because it must be healing to them. Obviously it is. And I thought it would be. And they started telling me their experience. Well, I feel like I'm meditating. Another lady said, look, I have a hyperactive child. He's like 6 years old. I don't want to give him medication, but sometimes I have to because he's just driving me nuts. And she says, he's addicted to your videos. So all I have to do is, when he's acting up, is just let him listen to your videos and totally calms him down. This is a little child, a little 6-year-old. And then, of course, I have men who love it and women who like it. Also, they love it too, the ones that really listen, because they feel that it takes them to another dimension. It's almost like, not quite a fantasy, but I guess in a way for them it's a fantasy because they don't have those experiences. They're not familiar with those experiences. And it's a wonderful thing that I hope I can develop more. And I realize that what I'm putting out is also not just the movies, but I'm going to probably release soundtracks as MP3s. And then I'm also going to release photo albums and photos and fantasy videos. Love fantasy videos. I want to do those, definitely. And I think that always just puts people in this really happy state, because they don't have to live in this crud and mud of the reality that you're so well describing. It's like, oh, your neurons and your cells and everything's out of whack. It's like, okay, now let's just dive into something blissful and something that opens up the heart and nourishes everything, the body, the heart, the mind, and it gives them peace. I often have fans who tell me, you give me solace meaning peace. It's a different word, but it's about the same thing. You give me solace, and I feel love, and I feel like I'm in love, and it's like they're healed, like they're feeling like they're being healed. And others give me all kinds of remarks that are comical too. you know, about those. Simply because, you know, their base chakra is getting activated, so then they get sexually excited, you know. So I have that as well, but that's part of the process because the chakras are opening up and they're being activated all the way from the base to the top. So that's just part of the process, and I just accept that as such, and that's fine. You know, that's fine. So more now than before, I realize that I'm able to give the effects through different modalities. I talk to people, text them, talk to them. I create videos. Sometimes people will ask me, like my client, she asked me for a video to calm her down because she's under a lot of stress. She's a professional in the entertainment industry, and so I made a video for her, which I need to extend because she wanted a longer one, where she said that she just goes out like a light. It just totally calms her down and puts her in a blissful mood. So there's a lot of work for me to do, and I realize now that it's not going to be just movies or recordings. It's going to be photographs. It's going to be live shows. And perhaps I can do a show in which I can interact with the audience as well. That's in the works. I think that would be fun. So people can ask me questions. I can answer them.
Yeah, I guess for myself, like I say, it was a neutralizing effect with your voice in the other realm. So it, and like I say, that's like I say, everything's vibration and pitch. Because I go to a different spaces when I listen to a certain song, certain music. It's hitting these different octaves. I get things like I say, octaves. You know, crescendos, decrescendos. I understand all the terminology in music because I was in it. And I like
you were
I
a
love it.
musician. You were a musician, weren't you?
But I hear things in every portal because I pull it in. I love it like Kansas when they use violins, and then they got the guitars, but they also got like some synthesizer, and it all pulls in and it meshes. It's like perfect, and then it hits the neurons in my head and puts me in a different heart space. I put out a song by Evanescence yesterday. And that song gets me every time. I mean, not just once in a while. I mean, anytime I listen to it, it's really tweaking up inside my spirit, changing my vibration every time I hear it. And that's the exact same capacities that your voice does. It goes into that vibration, that resonance, brings us to our literally, technically, like our higher self, our I don't know, our spirit side. You know, it's tapping into the energies of the spirit of things.
Yeah, I really appreciate that comment. It's something that I did not set out to do. I wasn't conscious of the effect when I first started recording. I wasn't. I'm still in a state of self-discovery because I'm realizing what effects I'm having on people and what I'm able to do after I do it, not conscious of the effects or not intending. It's not like I'm setting out to do something, planning it. I don't plan it. It happens. It's just like everything else. The whole thing happened to me. It happened, literally. And it's not something that I decided, oh, okay, you know, today I'm going to be Golden Goddess Crystalle, and I'm going to start writing, and I'm going to start recording. And well, no, it didn't happen that way. And certainly people now have made me into sort of love symbol, if you want to call it that. And it took me a while. It's still taking me a while to accept that. But it's because of my own conservative programming when I was a child. But realizing, yes, I am that. And that's part of my mission, because it is by giving off the vibrations of myself that I'm able to help others heal, if that makes sense. It's kind of like being around someone who's always happy all the time. You want to be around them because they're giving off these happy vibes, and that uplifts you. So that it's that kind of thing. I just radiate like a light bulb. I'm like a light bulb. And so they say, oh yes, well you're goddess symbol or love symbol or sex symbol or whatever, fine. That's fine with me. It's all part of the goddess energy. And I part of my name, I use the word goddess because all women are an incarnation of the goddess. All men are an incarnation of the Godhead, the male Godhead, in my opinion. And it's just a matter of how much we exemplify that in our lives. Some people exemplify it more than others because they're more aware, they're more awake. But to many religions, that's a no-no to say the word, to say I am the goddess or I am God. But in fact, because we are all divine beings. But if we don't get it, then we're going to fight that. And it's a lot of it has to do with organized religions pounding in our heads that we're inherently evil, we're inherently corrupt, we're base beings that are trash, and all kinds of horrible stuff, and that sex is always bad, and I just on and on, and I am so tired of it. That I just really think that when I say I'm Golden Goddess Crystalle, I'm trying to say I am the bringer of the energy of the Supreme Goddess. I'm here, I'm a messenger, if that's what you want to call it. And I'm also an incarnation of that because I obviously fell into it. It happened naturally, and it's in my chart. I never thought about it. I didn't give it a second thought, but I realized I should do it because it's working, it's healing, and it's getting out there in a positive way. I think some people react in a negative way because of their programming. I remember one man who was I guess he was from one of the extremist right-wing religion. It wasn't Christianity, but he was offended. He said, "How dare you call yourself a goddess?" There's no concept of, male and female energies in the universe, just nothing. And he was just so, I actually had to get customer service to help and block him out, because he was so upset. But you're going to have people like that, and you're going to have reactions like that because you're breaking ground and you're breaking boundaries, and there's always going to be a backlash. But more and more, I just think, okay, I am this walking creature of walking around, emanating, giving off this energy, and then okay, I'll be an icon. Okay, that's fine. I've accepted that. I'll be an icon because that's part of what I am. And you too are an icon. You're a health icon. You're a consciousness raising icon. And so that people should see you more and more as that. Not just, oh, this guy teaches how to make these various healthy medicines and how to fix this and fix that. And no, it's, I think that you're probably going to evolve more and more into that. Maybe all the light workers will be like that. Eventually they'll understand that that's what they're supposed to do, that's somehow part of them. I think we're all always relating to what we do. For example, who are you? You are a teacher, you are a doctor, you are a healer, you are the fastest rider on the planet. Okay, me, I am the goddess, I am the sex symbol, the love symbol, I am the spoken word recording artist. It's not what we do, it's what we are. So more and more, the awareness for me is coming to, okay, it's not what I'm doing, it's what I am and becoming more of. And it's powerful. And I think that's just part of the energy shift, that we're going to have more and more people, more and more light workers like that are just walking incarnations of what they are brought to this world to do. They're not just doing things, they are that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I can't take off this, and I don't use the word persona because it's a negative construct, but I I can
It is
be.
a persona. It is
Yeah,
a persona.
but you gotta, I am who I am 24/7. I
Right.
don't, I'm not, what do you call it? Like a tiger changing its spots or a leopard changing its spots. I don't live with all these different masks on. Well, this is a Peter I'm going to show to this party. This is a Peter I'm going to show to that party, because that's the way the whole world operates. They actually, I'm going to church now, so I'm going to put on my church face. And then when I go home, I'm beating the wife and the kids, and I took off that mask. See, that's not being to thy own self be true, because either you're 100% who you are and you can live in that, you can be comfortable in your own skin, and you can look at yourself in the mirror and be who you are 24/7, because that's the vibration, that's the energy of the heart. And so, I don't turn my heart on and off. It stays in this, it's always in this evolving state, and it's always going, and it's starting to resonate higher. Every day I wake up, Crystal, I'm in a new vibration. It's always
an evolutionary process.
Yes, it's transformational. It's I'm in my transformation. I'm like a caterpillar fixing to go into, like a moth into cocoon and all that. But I've shed the old me. But even though I was always still me, but now I've thrown off all the other encumbrances that have been binding me up, because I don't have to live in anybody else's. I don't have to live in their construct. If they don't like me for who I am, then they don't belong around me. They don't belong in my realm, because it means that they have some certain issues with their own selves, and they're not comfortable in their own skin. So they have to throw stones at my house, because they can't go into introspection to look within inside themselves.
The
And
same
that's
thing
pretty
happens
much
to me. Yeah, the same thing happens to me. Some people really react and they reject me, and they're jealous. They're jealous, I think, because they are not able to break free from their own internal programming. They can't handle that they're incarnations of the goddess. They can't relate to that. They say, oh no, I'm just a subservient woman, and, ordinary, just stuff that's, it's like they've been like a candle that's been snuffed out. And some of them will stay there. Some of them will. You have to understand that they will. Some of them will. Some of them won't. Some of them will wake up, and a lot of them won't. So you just have to just roll with the punches. And like, you're right. You have to be that 24/7. But it's not that I'm trying to be. It's that it's happening to me automatically. It started back then, and not that I think it was probably developing before then, but I wasn't as conscious of it. I don't think it happens overnight with one surge of energy on the planet. But one man told me, I think I told you a few months ago, I went to this gas station and I had to go into the cashiers, and the guy behind the desk said, oh, we have this energy and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden he said, you have to be Golden Goddess Crystalle all the time, 24/7. In other words, don't put on your face and then take it off. And I said to him, this is who I am. But it is true that it's a process, so that you will sometimes vibrate at that higher level, and then you'll come down again. And then because of the human body, that's just the way that we evolve.
Right. That's called that. They call that in the electrical terms oscillating. It's the sino-atrial node. It's always in a state of up and down. But
generally going up.
Right.
And getting stronger, but at the same time, you will have your down days. You will have your exhausted days. You will have days in which you wonder, what am I doing? What's wrong with me? Maybe I should go back to the way I used to be. But there's no way on the planet you will ever be the same, because that shift has happened. Your body's changed. That's it. You can't
reverse what already is. There is no going backwards. That's why I always talk about
there's no going back.
It's always going forward, but there's always the highs and lows with going forward as well, and it's just part of the transformation. It's the normal energy of things, and that's how energy works. And but just make sure we go with the flow and try and stay it's hard to be in a constant because yeah, the body does ebb and flow. It's electromagnetic, so
Yeah.
you just got to go with the flow. And yep, there's some days that I'm really up, and there's some days not so much down, but just in a different vibration. But it always comes back around and gets
Tired. You get
I get
tired.
back on my
because-
spaceship, and yeah, then I'm rolling again.
Yeah, it's natural. Well, you're tired because your body's not used to vibrating at that frequency for that long a period of time in a sustained way. Your body's adjusting. It's going like, oh God, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I gotta lie down. Because
Yeah.
it has to get energy back to be able to function at that high level. You can't. It's like a runner, a marathon runner. They have to get rest. They have
Yep.
to eat and they sleep and build their bodies up. They can't just keep running without stop. We're not built that way, at least not now. But he was right. The man was right. He said, you have to be Golden Goddess Crystalle 24/7. In other words, never get off that. Never be anything else. And then he did the most amazing thing. And he got out from behind the counter all of a sudden, and he says, and he hugged me. It was so sweet. He just wanted to hold me because he felt love energy, I think, and calmness coming from me. And I thought it was so sweet. He was just a sweet, sweet man. And I've never forgotten his words because he was so right. And I don't know where those words came from because he didn't know me from Adam. And then I had another person that I met, and this is relevant to you. I was at Target shopping for some stuff, and there was this transvestite working there, tall, dark fellow, and very sweet, and another wonderful person. And he said to me, well, I used to perform in drag bars and stuff, but I figured, no, I don't need to do that because the world is my stage. That hit me. The world is my stage. That means it's the same, it's like a corollary of the first man, who said you have to be Golden Goddess at 24/7. You also have, therefore, if you are, then you are constantly performing as Golden Goddess Crystalle. And it's not like I am performing in order to perform, like an artist, like an actor or an actress or something. Okay, now I'm going to put on my acting face. No, it's like you have to be that all the time. There's some very interesting actresses who have made some fascinating comments. One of them was Marilyn Monroe. She was this, beautiful love goddess and sex symbol and actress. And she just exuded this sort of sensuality that everybody loved. And she said one time that Marilyn Monroe was not her. She somehow didn't integrate the two. She said, when I am her, Marilyn Monroe, because I am Norma Jean, that was her name. So she didn't integrate the two. And I think what's happened in my world is that more and more I'm moving from the previous person into Golden Goddess. And it's like this part somehow has merged more with this. And that's it. That's what's there all the time. So that's all I am. And I think that's the evolution. That's the process that's happening. But I don't intend for it to happen. It's just that when I am not feeling, that I'm vibrating at that frequency of the Golden Goddess, negative things, I feel negative things. I feel tired, or I feel down, or this or that. And I realize that's because I'm not centered, because my true self is the Golden Goddess. And the same way with you, when you feel sometimes like, I'm exhausted. Well, who wouldn't be with all the stuff that you do? And I think I'm going to go take a power walk. Whatever you say you do to try to, bring your energy back up again. You'll realize there will come a point when you will no longer have those swings into that non-centered self as much. You're going to center. You're going to be, because in order to have the energy to create the changes that you want to create, You're going to have to be rooted in that energy, that higher frequency permanently. And that's your evolution, just like it's my evolution. And I didn't set out to do this, honest to God. You know, I just started writing because something happened to me one day and I thought, oh my God, what is this? You know, I can't stop this. No, I think I'm going to drink some elderberry juice. Maybe this burning sensation will stop. Didn't do anything. He didn't do a thing because all I could feel was this, you know, this surge of energy from my base chakra was like driving me crazy. Like, what is this? It's like somebody was electrocuting me or something, but it was the most blissful thing you can imagine. I was in paradise and my heart was just, I just was radiating love everywhere I went. People would stop me. Like one time I was coming out of the grocery store and I went into the pharmacy and this fellow apparently followed me to the pharmacy and he said, excuse me, ma'am. And I think, what's this? And he said, excuse me, ma'am. He says, but you are very beautiful. And I said, well, thank you very much. I mean, that was like the universe saying, you know, you're radiating the love vibration, people are picking it up, and that's a good thing. That's positive reinforcement. So that's what you're experiencing. You're going to experience a lot of comical things too, and I know that you do. You get all kinds of messages and people approaching you. and well, I do too. And I won't go into that in public. But
yeah, oh, I know. Yeah, well, I know. We already know what you get behind closed doors. But yeah, because I get to intersperse in this dynamic, this energies. You know, I can go into all portals. I can, you know, when my heart feels it, I get to bring it forward. I'll share it. Like I say, I make somebody's day. I get to make them smile today. I mean, it doesn't cost me a damn thing. You know, I had this download in my head 2 days ago. The purity of the heart of a child. They are innocent with their love. You know what I'm saying? If they feel it, you know, I've had children come up and just hug me. I mean, just out of the blue. And that's that innocent energy. It's and see, that's what I bring. It's I'm feeling like a child, and I'm interspersing with everybody else's child, because we all have the child side of us, and we need to come back and play with this child side. And I get to play. You know, you see my emoticons. You know, I had all these emoticons. I get the people busting up. See, I get to change their heart for the day by just interspersing, and something will fit perfect that I poke up, because I got all the emoticons. My daughter's trained me up well. I have my 19 and 16-year-old, and now Daddy's the master of his own domain, and they've reconciled that fact that geez, Daddy's surpassed us. Well, they started the party, but see, just those little nuances of interspersing. It's energetic interspersing, I call that, and I do it all day long. Somebody comes in, like when I'm posting, sometimes I post in their little PM box, and somebody will come back and engage me into some happy banter, and it makes me feel good. It makes them feel good, because I get to just be me. And then that's the whole point of this exercise. If you can't be you on this planet, you got a problem.
Yeah. Well, it's you're lucky that you can get away with the emoticons. I can't.
With what?
You're lucky you can get away with the emoticons, because I can't.
Oh yeah,
like,
no.
My fans that want more.
I like the dog.
Get on Skype, or send me a photo. They want to see new photos, or so I send them a link to one of my videos. Or
yeah, I've gotten a couple requests. I'm not going to talk about it here.
Yeah, I get all kinds of requests. And
yeah, no kidding.
Photos. I have to delete the photos.
Can I get a better response? Can you take that shirt off? Can you get me? No, what the hell?
Yeah, I get that constantly, and I also get the 24-hour calls. But you know, I have my channels. Really
yeah, no, I don't get 24-hour calls. This is good, because I'll beat their brakes off. They wake me up.
Yeah, I get 24-hour calls, because there are people who are located across the world. You know, Japan, you know, Algeria, England. They're located all kinds of Canada, South America, Thailand, just everywhere. They're everywhere, and so of course their time zones are so different. I mean, it may be 16 hours ahead, or 14, or 12, or 8, or whatever. And so it's like, my time is not taken into account. And when I tell them, I say, look, I've got a chat line between 7 and 10. And call me then because I'm more likely to be available. But often I have things that I'm doing at the same time, so I can't answer the phone. I finally said, I've decided I'm going to set appointments for people so they can make appointments with me, and then I can deal with it. They can talk to me in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever it is. And I have certain rules too, so that they behave well during these conversations. Because some of them can kind of go wacky. They're funny, but I love my fans. They're so cute. They're so sweet. I mean, all of them, every single one of them, they're just simple people who want love. That's all. Women and men alike. And that's fine with me. I don't get offended. Even when they send me obscene things and stuff, trying to turn me on or get my attention, and I just laugh. And I just delete it. So Facebook doesn't like this. Skype doesn't like this. But then I send them backlog in different ways, and then they're happier. But I think this business of the chat line with your fans and followers, they do want contact with you personally. I can understand that because I have that a lot. I mean, even if they can't talk because they don't speak the language, I have people who just want me to talk to them. They just want to hear my voice live, like saying, hi, how are you? Just anything. And then they're like, oh, totally blissed out. So it could be that
Uh-oh, I think we froze. Yeah, sometimes this happens. Get a little frozen in time, folks. Anyways, let's see if we can resolve it in a second. I don't know if it's my computer freezing up or it's something else on the other side. Crystal, can you hear me? Okay. Anyways, Brother Biggie, it looks like we have a glitch. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Brother Biggie. Yeah, let's call it a wrap. Yeah, let's integrate. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. I'll see. Okay, now we're back. Okay, yeah, we thought to.
Can you see me sideways now or what?
Yeah, you're all sideways. What's up with that?
I don't know. Something happened here. Let me see. Let's see if I can get this thing.
We got to get you right side up. Sweetie, I know you want to get horizontal with me, but not today.
Is that better?
Very good. Yeah, I got you right side up. I'm going to flip you over like an egg or an omelet or something.
Can you see my face?
Yeah, now you're good. You're good. Anyways, yeah, maybe something hit. Anyways, it was on your end.
No, it was just the internet just had a glitch. Yeah, sometimes the internet will cut out like that momentarily, and then comes back on again, and that can happen. Don't forget, I'm up right now. I'm up in the mountains east of San Diego. So sometimes you have some, interruptions, and even in the city, you're going to have interruptions with Wi-Fi. Yeah. Because we're on Wi-Fi and using Wi-Fi, but it's a great connection. So far we've done well. Maybe. Yeah.
Well, we got about 20 minutes. We'll just integrate. Let's cover where are we going next. Where's Goddess Crystalle taking us next on this joyride of love?
Well, I'm going to produce a sequel. I'm in the process of writing. I've written a chunk of it. I don't know exactly how this sequel will end. or if it will end, because I think the experiences I'm having are part of my spiritual growth. So that doesn't stop. You know, you can't say, okay, this is a sequel, boom, that's the end of the story. It doesn't work like that. I have a feeling it's kind of a long-term thing. But everybody likes it. Everybody's happy with it. I think, as far as I know, there's only a few people who might have a few objections, I think, to some of the more the more sexual parts of the movie.
Yeah. Well, you know, see that, and let's cover that aspect. Yeah, the physical capacities. You know, I'm well aware of my physical capacities. I'm well in touch with my energies. But the point of this is this: that's just a small portion of the total construct of who you are or who I am.
Right.
Because I can't leave the rest of that out, because it comes back to in the heart of things. You know, home is where the heart is. If you can't get in your heart vibration, then you're operating in a superficial construct, because anybody can do the deed. Anybody, I mean, even dogs know how to fuck. I mean, really, you know, but there's no integration. Sometimes the F-bombs will come out, folks. If that bothers you, you're in the wrong. You're not at your mama's house. You're at daddy's house now. So, anyways, hey, at least I've kept it. You know, when I get excited, the four-letter adjectives can have a tendency to fly. I did a show with Dr. Shelley last night, and when I was told that Mike Adams was talking about putting crap and good food into the microwave, I said, "Are you?" I lost it. I lost it for about seconds, because Shelley, I told her I'd keep it clean, you know, but I, you know, I'm an energy flow, and I go with the flow, and so yes, I try and keep like I say, I try and keep it clean, but the objective is, it's sometimes it's shock value. It brings it'll bring the point home, you know. So and it's just language. It's just vowels. It's verbs. It's energy, folks. You know, get over yourself. Jeez. You know, I don't get too excited about it. You know, I hang out with brother Tim's his sweetie. She cusses Taylor. She fits right into my paradigm.
Well, she uses those four-letter words freely.
Oh yeah. Well,
I
hey,
try not to use them. I never use them
yeah.
in my movies.
Right. Well, like I say, sometimes it happens. It falls out there, but you know, it's just energy. It's just energy. Yeah. My ex used to give me a hard time. My ex, she used to give me a hard time because she was so politically correct and uptight. And then I would just cuss just because I could, because if it bothers you, you know, I was trying to send a point home. Get over yourself. Jeez. Anyway, see, if it pushes your button, sometimes I get a little passive aggressive behavior going on, and the button's a little harder.
Yeah, sometimes you get a little punchy. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. You see me get punched. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah. I just kind of roll with punches and just.
You're good. You go with the flow. You're like a duck in water. You're like a duck in water. You'll roll off, and that's the best way to fly with Peter. And then everything moves out, and the vibration gets right back in sync. Because we've had a lot of
come back again.
Yeah, we've had a lot of off air conversations. So you know, but this is good. I get to, folks. I get to know my sister on a whole different level energetically. So she knows who I am. And I don't mince any words, do I, Crystal? Yeah, what do we talk about? We can't talk about it here, can we? No, but I'm not going to. Come take a ride on the Peter train. It's all good.
Biggie knows. Biggie knows.
Yeah, Biggie. Yeah, he's privy to Peter's portals, for lack of a better.
Portals.
Hey, yeah, I want to open up a new portal. I want to call it Peter's Portals because you know
Let's talk about that.
You know, we got to open up the planet. You know, because we are interspersing energetically through a bunch of portals. Go figure, a Navy man understanding portals. Now, on the ship, they got lots of portals. Do they not? Hello, McFly.
How did you wind up joining the Navy anyway? Instead
Yeah, isn't that insane? And then I did 10 years in. I didn't do one day on a damn boat. How does that work?
You didn't? Nothing?
No, I was a landlubber, sweetie. I was with them. I was with my boys in green, running up and down hills. They counted that as my sea duty, even though I was on dry land. So that's pretty interesting. Well, I think I told you my first duty command was in the Mojave Dam Desert. What the hell's the Navy doing in the desert? Yeah.
I see the ship stuck in the sand.
Yeah, well, no, it was a place called China Lake. It was a place called China Lake Naval Weapons Center, and it was a dry lake. A freaking, they played a big joke on me. Because when I got orders to go to China, I wanted to get to California because I'd never been there, and I put to California, and that's exactly where they sent me. Anywhere California. But, hey, the joke's on you, buddy. When I got my orders, listen up. When I got my orders, I shared with a friend of mine. He goes, "Oh, you're going to China Lake, oh, brother." First of all, it's a dry lake, and it's not a desert. I said, "What the hell's the Navy doing in the damn desert?" In the way. Jeez.
What were they doing in the desert? What were they doing in the desert? They had a ship there. They couldn't have a ship there.
Yeah, hey, sweetie, they make shit glow over there. It's Naval Weapons Center. They're
What's the Navy doing in the desert?
Yeah, blowing shit up. They're making stuff go boom. Anyways. Folks, join the Navy, see the world. Go to the Mojave.
That's really good.
You can't write the script, Crystal. Shut up.
No. Oh, I've got a Ustream channel, 4 of them now. As you know, Goddess Crystalle Live is the primary one. Like Silk Productions is another one. And then Passion-Movie is the third, it's about the movie. And then another one's called The Dreaming Tree. Well, The Dreaming Tree is going to be all about fantasy videos and romantic fantasies and stuff. So the first one, Goddess Crystalle Live, I think I'm going to have, planning on having people that I will speak with and interview. And so I'm looking forward to seeing you on my show. But I definitely have to request.
Can I go topless? Can I go topless?
Sure.
Matter of fact, that's going to be mandatory. It's going to be, if I go topless, you're going topless. I guarantee we'll get a big ass draw. I guarantee it. On both sides of the damn fence. Everybody want to realign their chakras and their energies. Oh, geez, look at Peter and Crystalle. They're showing the love in a whole different way. We're not going pornographic, folks. We're just playing here.
It's all right. No, I would just have you, I would say the requirement is that you start being your comical self, because I think the world needs humor.
We do.
Definitely yours is very good.
I miss my calling.
What's the Navy doing in the desert?
Yeah, right. I don't. You can't make it up. Anyways, and it was a dope smoking, beer drinking, acid dropping Navy when I stepped in. We played ball in a different way when I was in, and then all of a sudden they put the paints on because everybody was getting their minds opened up, with the cannabis and stuff. I used to get high with Navy doctors, other doctors. Hey, let's go smoke a fatty at lunch. It's all. Anyways, for all those who are still in the Navy, too bad. Suck it up.
Well, you never left the Navy, did you? Your language shows that.
Yeah, no, Popeye.
So I wouldn't have the nerve to say anything you do like that. Never.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever any 4-letter words come out of my mouth, it's usually out of total frustration.
Right.
It's like, oh, the internet dropped or something.
Yeah.
But I don't talk like that. But you can get away with it.
When I get excited, the fur does fly. It's part of my energies, Oh my goodness! Yeah. Oh yeah,
it's very important. It's very important.
I've embarrassed my ex on multiple levels. No, geez, what the
Your
fuck are you
ex-wife.
talking about? Geez, get your fucking mind right, Nina. What's wrong with this picture? You know, it's like, oh boy, here he goes. And she wants to go crawl in a hole, you know. Anyways, you got 3 more links. Okay, so we got your first link that Peter will probably be a guest on every now and then, I'm sure. What was the second link so we could share it? Because these will get posted very positive. Let me speak. I will post all these links when I post this show. When it gets finished up, it'll go over to the house over at CCN. So all the links will be up underneath the show more, up underneath the video, so they can find where my Goddess Crystalle lives.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I have a YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Like Silk Productions. It has all the short videos and also the longer videos of the movie. You can see that there, and you can see it in Ustream, ustream.tv/channel/Goddess Crystalle Live. And Crystalle is spelled Crystalle, Crystalle. So just to remember that. And yeah, I definitely look forward to seeing you on my show. But you have to crack the jokes, because otherwise it's too heavy, Peter. He's too serious.
Yeah, I should have been on Tuesday's show last week when I was all wars, bankers wars. I was in the form, you know, because I can't believe people are dying for this bullshit construct. Anyways, I tell you what, I think we're gonna make it a wrap. Crystalle, it's been a pleasure today. You really enlightened me even more so. And I think when my brothers and sisters see this on the planet, they're all going to be able to get their love vibration up and share this love vibration across the planet. And that's the objective here, folks. If you see this and you like it, don't keep it to yourself. You know, we're all in this together. Share the love. That's what I talk about on this planet. Share the love. What the heck, you know? I mean, you know, I've got 3,700 people over at my house at my Peter Eugene page, and I post this stuff in real time, and it copy and paste doesn't take 2 seconds. I'm not in their circle of influence. I don't know who they know, but they know who they know. So you know what? In order to get this planet to blow up with the love bomb, everybody's got to do their part. Everybody got to dig in a little bit and share the love, copy, paste. I mean, if I can do it, and I'm the most technically deficient son of a bitch on the planet, and you know what? Y'all can do this, because I got people who don't even know how to click on my YouTubes, for crying out loud. I mean, anyways, we're going to share the love. We're going to bring up the vibration. This is where we live, folks. And I thank goodness for this portal at CCN to bring the vibration of the planet up, because this is about the consciousness shift. And Crystalle, you alluded to that very, very well. Like I say, this is everybody's seeing the other side of Crystalle, the right side of Crystalle, the real Crystalle.
The real Crystalle. Yeah, I have a lot of facets, that's for sure.
Oh, I know. I see them. I've seen 2 of them. See, folks, you gotta have a sense of humor. This is what life's about. What's that?
Oh, you embarrass me. I'm turning red.
No, geez. It's just Peter. My God, I say a lot more off-cuff stuff with you than I do probably anybody else on the planet. Not in public. Yeah, hey, folks. Anyways, yeah, folks, we love you. We thank you so much. Crystalle, I thank you so much for coming today. And we're going to move this planet forward with the love vibration. Brother B, I guess we got a wrap. Thank you, sweetheart.